be teaching you how to make a beautiful snowflake sun catcher. So it can shine in the sun and it can show off all its colors. So that's the project that we're going to be making together today. I hope that you have some of the supplies ready to go, but I'm going to go over some of the things you need to make sure that you have. So the first thing you need to make sure that you have is the pattern for the snowflake. So you might need an adult to print this out for you so that you have that ready to go. Then you're going to need some paper for the snowflake, and you're going to need some tissue paper, some scissors, and a glue stick. So you can use watercolor paper. You can use computer paper. If you want to, you can just print it out on white paper and you can use that white paper. And you can also use, if you have colored paper, you can use construction paper. Really, you can use almost any paper that you want to. So the paper that we put on the list is a really thick kind of paper because we're going to paint the snowflake. If you don't want to paint today, or if you don't have paints today, I recommend that you used a colored piece of paper. So either a colored piece of construction paper or a colored piece of printer paper so that you can play along that way. What else might you need? If you are going to paint, you're going to need a little cup of water. You're going to need a paintbrush, and you're probably going to need something to cover up your space so that you don't get your table or wherever you're working all messy. So, what else do we have? Well, I think it's time to get started. So what I'm going to do is the thicker paper, like the watercolor paper or the paper from the Creatology paper pad, is really thick. So I'm not going to cut through that today because I think it's going to be kind of hard for some of our little ones to cut along with us. So I'm going to use construction paper, and I'm going to go with that. So when you have your template printed out, you only see half of the template because we're going to fold our paper in half in order to cut it. Now, with our snowflake, basically we're going to make a snowflake sandwich because we're going to make a front snowflake and a back snowflake, and we're going to put them together so that we can have the tissue paper in between. So all together, we're going to cut out 2 different snowflakes. Now, here's what you're going to want to do. The first thing you need to do is have this printed piece of paper, and we need to cut out our template so that we can trace it onto our colored paper or the paper that you might want to paint later on. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So while I'm cutting this out, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And if you want to put in the Q&A a little bit about yourself, maybe where you are. So I am in Dallas, Texas. And in Dallas today, it's raining. Big bummer. So it is not snowing. I'm dreaming about these snowflakes that we're making together. You can get the pattern on the link that we sent to you. You can also get it online at the winter workshop on michaels.com. And then you're just going to need to print it out. Now, if you don't have your pattern, you might not be able to play along with me right this minute, but that's okay because we're going to put this video online, and then you're going to be able to come back to it, and you're going to be able to watch it as slow as you want, or you could watch it as fast as you want and be able to play at your speed. So I printed out my snowflake pattern. It's only half of the snowflake. Yay, Michigan. And I'm going to be cutting that out. And I think some of you are probably going to be cutting it out with me right now. So I'm in Texas. It is not snowing. I wonder if it's snowing at your house. It might be snowing in Michigan. It might be snowing in Ohio. But I'm just cutting out the outline. And then you're going to notice these extra little diamonds inside of the snowflake pattern. And we're going to be able to go through those too. Utah, woohoo, and Baltimore, snow in New Jersey tomorrow. All right, Louisville, Kentucky is just rain also. snow on the ground somewhere. So lucky. I think snow is a lot more beautiful than rain is. And our snowflake today, I think, is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So we printed out our pattern and we're cutting out half of the snowflake pattern because we're going to use this pattern to trace onto our other paper to officially make 2 giant snowflakes to make our snowflake sandwich. There's rain in Tulsa, and I don't think New Jersey has any snow yet either. So we're all over the place, which is really fun. So thanks for joining us today. And there are 2 more winter workshops. So there's one tomorrow, and then there's one on Monday also. And the one on Monday, I'm going to teach you also. So on Monday, we're going to learn how to make a pony bead ornament. I'm not sure what tomorrow is, but I'll have to look that up for you. Carrie, if you can, I don't know if you can or not. Carrie's here with me, and if she could maybe put the snowflake link in the chat, that might be great. I don't know if you can or not, or if you can help direct us.
Yeah, I sure did. I put it in the chat. It's a PDF, so all you have to do is click it, and all the templates for all the winter workshops will be on that PDF.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So it looks like it's snowy in Minnesota. It's hard to believe that some of you have snow when it's kind of still hot here. But that's okay. Too much snow sometimes can be a lot too.
Also, tomorrow we will be making a winter moose and a snowboard.
Ooh, a winter moose. That sounds like fun. Cool. All right, so I've managed to cut out the outline of my snowflake. And remember, it's just half of it because we're going to do a little magic in order to make the whole entire thing. So the snowflake pattern is at the end of the PDF. So there's about 5 pages to print out of all the different templates from all the other classes. And the snowflake is one of the very last ones. So make sure you go to the end of the PDF to find the snowflake. So there's lots of people participating in this class today. So we're going to keep going, but if you get behind, you can always watch this again later and see what I was doing so that you can go back and do it a lot more slowly if you'd like. So here we go. I cut out this, and now the tricky part is that I need to cut out these diamonds because those diamonds are eventually where we're going to have the tissue paper. In order to figure that out, we're going to go figure out a way to cut these diamonds out. So you don't have to cut it perfectly. If you have a grown-up nearby who wants to help you, you're welcome to have them help you cut these parts out because they're a little bit harder. But I'm going to show you a little way to do it. If I'm going to cut this out, I'm going to fold this in half. And then I'm going to just snip just a little bit and see how that kind of made like a hole through my paper. And then I'm going to use my scissors and go through that hole in order to cut that piece out. So you're going to try and cut out these diamonds as best you can on your snowflake. And there's a lot of cutting in our project today. So if you're not a super good cutter, or if it takes you a very long time to cut, you can always have a grown-up help you out. Or again, you can watch the video later so that you can do it at your pace. So I cut one of my diamonds out, and I'm going to keep going and cut all of these diamonds out. So the way I'm cutting these little pieces out is by folding in half. Ooh, a hole puncher is a great idea. Thank you for sharing that. You can also use a hole puncher. You could probably punch a pencil through there too, just to kind of get your scissors a place to get started. And then you're going to cut that space out as best you can. I know it can be hard to cut this part, so do the best you can. And really, we're just trying to give ourselves some places that we can put some tissue paper in to make it beautiful and catch the sun and be able to glisten like a beautiful snowflake sun catcher. So before I started working at Michael's, I was actually a teacher, and I was a math teacher, and I taught middle school math and I taught high school math. And so I taught a lot of shapes and geometry. And so I know right now that these shapes that we're cutting out have 4 sides. Does anyone happen to know what a 4-sided shape is called? There's a really fancy word for it. I'm going to tell you eventually, but I'm going to give you a second. What is it called? Any shape that has 4 sides. Oh, some of you are so smart. Look at you. Quadrilateral is what it's called. So anything that has 4 sides is a quadrilateral. So all of these little diamond shapes we're cutting out right now are quadrilaterals. So since y'all are so smart, what are some other shapes that are called quadrilaterals? What other shapes have 4 sides? Do you know some other names for some shapes? Let's see how you're doing. Oh, I see one. Oh, somebody even sent me a little emoji, and it was right. So I saw square. What's another name? What's another name for something that has 4 sides that you know of? Square is one. Rectangle, hurrah, rectangle. So you can type into the Q&A. That's where people are answering these questions that I'm asking them. So if you see the Q&A section, that's where you can type in and so you can play along with me and answer some of my questions. So I cut out all of these quadrilaterals. Ooh, diamonds, yes, diamonds. And then down here, I have these 2 shapes I need to cut out. What are these 2 shapes called? They only have 3 sides, so they're not quadrilaterals. They are triangles. Triangles. I'm going to cut these triangles out. And we're doing all of this so that we can have a beautiful template to make our snowflake sandwich and make our snowflake suncatcher. All right, this is my template. Now, I was telling you before, but I'm going to tell you again that the paper that we suggested is really, really thick. And so it's going to take you a long time and it might be really hard to cut, especially if you have little hands or little scissors. So I recommend that you use construction paper or you use some colored paper for like printer paper. And you can even use white printer paper. That is absolutely okay. Because guess what? I've seen snowflakes that are white before. So I think that is just fine. So pick your paper. And we need 2 snowflakes because we're going to sandwich them together. Okay. So I need 2 pieces of paper. And I'm going to fold both of these pieces of paper in half. And this is why I chose to use paper that was a little thinner than the paper that we had on the material list, because you're going to have to cut through 4 layers of paper, and that might really hurt your hands, and you might really need a grown-up's help. So if you use construction paper or if you use some printer paper, it's going to be much easier for you to cut. Okay, so I folded the whole entire paper in half because I'm going to trace the half of the snowflake. How am I going to make a whole snowflake if I'm just tracing half of it? Oh, because I'm going to open it up and I'm going to have both halves to make one whole snowflake. Now, I'm sorry, but there's no getting around it. I'm still a math teacher, and so I am going to math you like crazy during this. Does anyone know the word for when you have a picture that looks the same, the reflection on both sides? There's a super fancy word for it, and it starts with the letter S. I'll let you think about that.
Megan, I would also like to say that Kate has brought it to our attention that there is not the snowflake that is in the PDF, but I would like to let everybody know that if you click on the winter workshop link that we sent, you'll be able to download the booklet, and that has the snowflake. So sorry about that, everyone.
Yes, thank you. So now that we have this template Oh, and so many of you got the right answer, and I'm surprised because that's a really tough word, but the word is symmetry. So we're making symmetry happen. We're going to do a reflection, and it's going to look the same on both sides, symmetry. Okay, so now in order for me to cut this out, since it's 4 layers, I'm using a thinner piece of paper. I'm going to use a pencil or use a pen or a marker or whatever is laying around, and I'm going to trace this pattern onto my 2 sheets folded in half. Now you want to make sure that the end of your snowflake is at the place where your paper is folded. So that's the whole beauty of how it's going to turn into a really cool snowflake, is that you have to unfold it. So make sure that you line up your snowflake pattern on the line. And then you can hold it and you can trace it, or maybe if there's somebody nearby that can hold it down and you can trace it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Do the best that you can. And we're going to trace this snowflake pattern onto this construction paper or onto your computer paper or onto your watercolor paper and make a really cool snowflake. And the word we were talking about before was symmetry. So when you unfold something and it's the same on both sides, it's called symmetric. So we're learning all kinds of math things today too. Bet you didn't think you're going to learn that. All righty. I'm tracing the outside, and then I'm going to go through and trace all of our 4-sided figures. And those 4-sided figures we said were called quadrilaterals. Quad means 4. So I'm tracing these. Now I'm going to trace the inside part. And I'm going to trace this triangle. I'm going to trace this. Oh, I know another fancy word for a 4-sided figure. If all 4 sides are exactly the same and it's not a square, well, it could be a square, but if it has 4 sides that are all the same, that is a fancy word called a rhombus. So squares are rhombus-like objects. And this rhombus has 4 sides. I think these might be rhombi, but I'm not positive. And then I'm going to trace the slash triangle. So I traced the outline. Oh, I forgot one. So I have to go back and put my paper back down. I forgot this one up here. And I traced all of my 4-sided figures. Kind of hard to see that because I'm using a darker piece of paper. But hopefully you can see that. So once you've traced the half of your snowflake, now you are going to start cutting again. So you're going to cut through 4 layers of paper, and that's a lot of paper. So I hope that you got big, strong fingers and big, strong scissors and that you're ready to go. So I'm going to start cutting. Make sure that the folded paper is nice and snug in the place where it's supposed to be, that one of the papers didn't slip out. And I'm going to start cutting the outside of my snowflake. Now, one of the things that I like to do when I'm cutting is kind of like cut around the whole entire shape to get all the extra paper away and then go back and do all the details. So I like to just get rid of that paper, put it to the side, and then go back through and be very precise, or as precise as I can about getting those spots. Yeah, you could, if you have a grown-up who could print the template onto a colored piece of paper, then you don't have to trace the template. You can go straight to cutting because it'll already be there once you fold it in half. Or you could probably line up your template on top of your construction paper and try to cut at the same time. But I like to trace just to kind of give myself one less paper to hold on to in my hand. So there's lots of ways to do what we're doing today. And again, you're always welcome to watch the video later on if you missed something, or if you just need a break and you want to watch it later on, that's okay. I'm cutting out the outline. If you want to make your own snowflake, I think that's actually a really great idea. The whole point of using this template was so that we could have some of those pieces that we cut out so that we can put tissue paper over them. So you are more than welcome to cut your own snowflake. You're going to want to make two because we're making a snowflake sandwich. And then you want to cut out some spaces inside of your snowflake that you're making up so that you have places to put some tissue paper in to make it the sun catcher that we're making today. So I'm cutting out the outline of my whole snowflake. My favorite part of making snowflakes is opening them back up. So I don't know if you guys have made very many snowflakes before with paper and scissors, but I love opening them up and seeing what they end up looking like. That's my favorite part. The scissors that I'm using, I got in the blue craft kit. So there's a Creatology craft kit at Michael's that you can buy, and it has all the supplies that you need for lots of different projects, not just this one. So here I have all of these outlines cut out. Now I need to go back through and cut these pieces out. And this is probably going to be the hardest part, and you might need somebody's help because this is a lot of paper. So if you can, try our trick again and fold it in half so that you can make a little snip to be able to stick your scissors through. But I know that's going to be hard because this is a lot of paper. So if we need to take them apart and do them a little bit at a time, that's okay too. But we're trying to make some spaces so that the sun can shine through our snowflake. There I go. And if you make a snip that goes a little too far, don't worry. I'm sure we got tape nearby somewhere and you can tape it back up. Not the end of the world. We can always fix something and turn it into a brand new design. Don't worry. Okay. Boop, 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 ba-doop. There we go. So that's one of my spaces I've cut out, and I have several more I'm going to do. So to try and get those inside pieces, I'm going to fold in half and make a little snip so that I can stick my scissors in here and get the rest of it out. And if it's becoming too hard, don't worry, you can take it apart and you can do one layer at a time instead of doing 4 layers, the 2 snowflakes at the same time. If you take them apart because it's too hard to cut, you can keep using your template and you can draw these little spaces onto your snowflake so that you know where the spaces are that you should be cutting out. I don't know if anybody saw behind me when I first started, but I had made a yellow snowflake. So like you can make snowflakes whatever color you want to. But has anybody ever heard about yellow snow? They always say that you shouldn't play with yellow snow because there's a reason why it's yellow. That's all I'm saying. Yellow snow. Usually the snow is yellow because if a dog is going nearby and has to go potty, then the snow changes to yellow. So you don't want to play in that snow, that's for sure. All right, I got a couple of spaces. Ooh, look how pretty. The sun can shine through all of those. I have 2 more spaces up here and I have 1 more space down here that I'm going to cut out. They don't have to be perfect because everybody's snowflake is allowed to be different. And again, if you make a mistake, That's okay. You might have just made up a brand new design. So I like to fold it in half so that I can stick my scissors in here and get started cutting out the spaces. And if I'm going too fast, you can always watch the video again if you need to just take a break and just kind of enjoy the class and watch it. And then you can come back and start your cutting again. I'm getting close. I wonder if you guys are getting close too. It's like really raining at my house now, like thunder and stuff. That's not my favorite. Okay. I'm cutting out these spaces and I'm going to make a snowflake sandwich. And I am going to put some tissue paper in between to make something beautiful. So now I'm just down to these last two triangles. And if I'm going faster than you, that's okay, because I'm going to slow down in a minute here and I'm going to show you how you can paint if you want to paint. If you have time, more time, and have paint and things like that at your house, I'm going to show you how to do that part. So if you're already ahead of me, or if you're falling behind me, you can kind of use that time to catch back up, finishing cutting your snowflake. I'm ready for my grand reveal and I'm very excited about this. Okay. Whew. So picture what you think it's going to look like. It should be the same thing on both sides, right? So when I open it up, oh, symmetry. That is beautiful. So this is your line of symmetry, and both of those sides of the snowflake are exactly the same. And like I've been saying, we're making a snowflake sandwich because what we're going to do is we're going to put some tissue paper down here, and then we're going to sandwich those snowflakes back together so that you can make a beautiful snow catcher. Snow catcher, sun catcher, snowflake. So maybe snow catcher. I think actually that's a really good name for it. So if you're still cutting, that's fine, because I want to show some people who want to paint and use the thicker paper how to do that part. So if you are going to paint, I recommend putting something down to cover the table because you don't want to make a giant mess. And I'm going to use some of this washable paint, but you can use any of the little Creatology acrylic paints, the ones that you unscrew. There's lots of different kinds of paints. You could use water paint. You can use whatever kind of paint you want to. I like to have a little jar of water because I'm always afraid I'm going to tip it over. So I like to put a lid on my water when I'm not using it. And I'm going to take snowflakes that I cut out before on the heavier white paper. And I'm going to show you how, if you want it to paint on the heavier paper, you can. But if you cut out a construction paper snowflake, you don't need to paint it because it's already a pretty color. So if I want it to paint this, I'm going to take a little bit of this paint and I'm actually, I'm going to put it into, you can put it on a paper plate. You can put it into just on the paper if you want to also. And I'm going to dip in my water and I'm kind of make this even more runny because you don't need a ton. It's a snowflake, so it's kind of like a little light color. And just adding a little bit of color. Now, if you don't have paint and if you were working on white paper, you can just use markers. You can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, you can use anything you want to make whatever colorful design you'd like. You do not have to paint. So if you're still cutting on your normal paper, that's great. And I think yours is going to turn out awesome too. So this is just an option for those people who want to paint. Now, some of you might not have time to paint right now because you're going to have to wait for it to dry before you do the tissue paper part. So that's why I'm showing you a couple of different ways to do it in case you don't have time to do it right now. So I'm going through and I'm painting this beautiful icy blue snowflake. But like I said before, your snowflake doesn't need to be icy blue. It could be green, It could be a snowflake of fire, and it could be orange. It could be red. You can make your snowflake however you want to. So if you want to, you can put in our question and answer space, what color is your snowflake? Maybe it's the color that the paper already was, or maybe you're adding some color to it. Pink looks like a good one. Ooh, we got a couple people doing pink. What other color snowflakes? Pink and blue. Beautiful. Let's see what else y'all are making. Light blue, white, beautiful. All those are great ideas because, you know, they can be whatever we want them to be. So I use the water to make my paint a little bit thinner because you don't really need a lot. It's just to kind of get it an extra little level of color if you want to paint, but you do not have to paint. Because it's a snowflake sandwich, I need to set this to the side. And I need to get the other half of my sandwich. Ah, look at this, how cool, right? And I'm going to paint the other side of my sandwich. Purple, okay, I see that. Cobalt blue, ooh, lovely. Cobalt blue is kind of like the construction paper I was using, like a bright blue. And then right now I'm painting a very icy blue, very light blue, kind of melted water sort of look. So I'm just painting over this. And if you are painting, you might need to watch the rest of the video later on because you're going to need to wait for it to dry a little bit before you keep adding the tissue paper. So those of you who are not painting, will be done in just a second, and you can join us adding on the tissue paper. And hopefully those of you who are still cutting have some time to catch up to us. I really wouldn't mind a white snowflake because then the tissue paper could really make lots of extra colors. And if you have the blue case from Creatology, you have like sequins and you have some beads and other things too. You could make this snowflake as blinged out as you would like to using some of that stuff as well. So I'm painting my snowflake. And remember to paint 2 snowflakes because you need a snowflake sandwich to make your sun catcher. I think I'm done.
Question for you, Megan. Can they use anything else but tissue paper for the sun catcher effect?
Yeah, so tissue paper is going to work best because it's see-through. And so if you need to hold it so that you can see through it, you want tissue paper. But if you don't care about seeing through it, if you just want pops of color, you can use magazines, you can use other construction paper. So there's other options you can use besides just using that. So I'm going to sit my 2 snowflakes that are painted to the side. You could use napkins. I think that's a great idea too. I'm going to set these 2 to the side and let them dry. So if you paint it, you probably don't want to start this next part yet because your stuff is still going to be too wet for you to be able to work with. But because I was also cutting out with my construction paper, I'm ready to do my tissue paper as well. So if you are painting, leave those to dry and you can come back and watch the rest of this video. But if you already cut out your snowflake onto color paper instead of painting, then you can do this part with me right now. So when you're making the sun catcher, you don't need to put tissue paper on both of your snowflakes. So I'm going to take one of the snowflakes and I'm going to put it to the side. And then you have these spaces that you can see through. And so you want to fill the see-through spaces with tissue paper. So in the blue Creatology case, there's these little tissue paper squares. But if you don't have the Creatology case, you can use any kind of tissue paper and just cut little scraps. Or like I said before, you can use construction paper, you can use magazines, you could use napkins even. You can use whatever you can find. And we're going to use a glue stick to attach this. So if I'm trying to cover up this space right here, I want to use my glue stick and I want to go around it. And then I'm going to take some tissue paper squares and I'm going to kind of like break them. And you don't have to break them into even pieces. You don't have to break them into the same number of pieces. Just rip them maybe once or twice to get a couple of different pieces. And I want to put a couple different colors out here so I have some options. So I'm just ripping up different size pieces of tissue paper. And these all came in my blue Creatology case if you happen to have that. If not, find whatever you'd like to fill in the gaps. Ooh, red. There we go. And then mine's still sticky, but if you wait it too long, you can always put your glue stick back down. And I'm going to take some pieces of the tissue paper and I'm going to put them where the glue stick is and see how I am just going to have a couple colors cover each one of these spaces. So I didn't use a whole tissue square, but you could. I'm going to use 2 different tissue squares. Now this is the messy side, so don't worry, because on the other side, look how pretty that looks. But this side is going to be your messy side and you're going to sandwich them together. Okay. So this is how you're going to keep attaching the tissue paper together. I'm going to use my glue stick. I'm going to add some more glue. And I'm going to go through each one of these quadrilaterals that we cut out before. And I'm going to put these tissue paper pieces in there. So I'm still seeing some people having trouble with snowflakes. So once I get going on this and get everybody started, I can come back and help you with that question. But I'm taking the torn pieces of tissue paper and I'm using them to cover up these different spots in different ways so that it can be a sun catcher and you can kind of still see the sunlight through your snowflake. There we go. And I'm putting these pieces of tissue paper over these open spaces to make the sun catcher part. And I'm using all different kinds of colors. I wonder what colors y'all are using. And this is the messy side. I need to carefully pull that from my paper so that I don't accidentally glue it to my paper. And when I flip it over, see how you just see this side? So that's really pretty. So I see a couple of you are still asking about the snowflakes. So let me see if I can help out with that. So when you're making a snowflake, you always want to fold your paper in half. And then to make just a quick, easy snowflake, no problem, no template, no nothing, you can just cut some lines. So I'm just cutting. I'm going to cut another line like the sunshine. I'm going to cut another line. So I'm kind of like cutting rays from the sun. Now, when you're making your snowflake, you always want to make sure that you're not going to cut the whole side where the fold is, because that's what's going to make it a snowflake when you unfold it, is that fold line. So this is a very funky, very fast snowflake, but it totally works. And then to make it a sun catcher, you're just going to need to have some other spaces. So fold it in half and maybe cut out a triangle. And fold it in half and maybe cut out another triangle. And then with your funky snowflake, now you have a couple of spaces for you to fill in your paper, tissue paper. So the snowflakes do not have to be the same, because that's the whole thing about snowflakes, is that not every snowflake is the same as another snowflake. They're all different. So some people are using red, green, and blue tissue paper. I added a little touch of purple because I found some purple tissue paper. That was exciting. And I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to finish filling up all of these spaces with my tissue paper. All the colors all the time. That's the way I like it. I might need to rip up some more tissue paper because I might have already used mine already. There we go. I finished all the cutouts that are in the middle, and now I'm going on to the other parts. So I'm going to rip up a couple more pieces. Did you see that I'm wearing my Olaf sweatshirt? I'm really just channeling snow over here, but it's still just raining. But I'm trying to get snow to happen. Okay, so I'm tearing my pieces of tissue paper into smaller bits. Oh, I didn't even see this paint before. How was I not using that color? It's very pretty. And then I'm ready to do the outside parts. You might need to pick up your snowflake at some point to make sure that it's not stuck to your paper or stuck to your desk. So be very careful peeling it up so that it doesn't get stuck. And now I'm going to go back. I'm going to put paper underneath again. There we go. And I'm going to use my glue stick and go around a couple of these diamonds. Here we go. Awesome. So there's always time to come back and watch this video again and try it again later, or maybe gather some different supplies and try it with some different supplies next time. There's lots of ways to make this snowflake. This is just one way. Beautiful. Finger got stuck. So I'm putting my tissue paper all over the place, giving it some extra touches of color. And at the end, we're going to use our other snowflake to sandwich this together and finish off our snowflake sandwich. Sounds delicious unless it's yellow snow. Snowflake sandwich coming up. Of orange. And I feel like I need a little piece of green down here. There we go. So I think I've just now covered all my different spaces. And then I'm going to make my snowflake sandwich. So to make my snowflake sandwich stick to each other, I'm going to go back to each one of the tips of the snowflake. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue stick on these. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. And then I'm going to take my other symmetric snowflake and I'm going to put it on top and make a snowflake sandwich. Ooh. Yay. This has turned out beautifully. So here is my snowflake suncatcher, or snowcatcher, if you want to call it that. I have all my tissue paper on my quadrilaterals, on my little diamond shapes. and you can still kind of see some sun and some light through it because of the tissue paper. So if you want to hang this up, you can take a little piece of embroidery floss or any kind of string that you have, and you can either poke a hole and tie it through there to hang it up, or you could even put the string in here and then glue it down to make a little hanger for it. So that's it. I know some of you are still working, and that's just fine. And those of you who painted your snowflakes, looks like mine is just about dry. So you can go ahead and make your tissue paper for your painted snowflakes if you were painting with me. So to do that part, you want the paint on the outside and you want to put your tissue paper on the inside. And then you're going to end up making your snowflake sandwich the exact same way that we did before. So that's all that I have for you today, making our snowflake sun catchers. But I hope that you come back to Winter Workshop tomorrow and then one more time on Monday. And if you come back Monday, you and I can make this lovely pony bead ornament together. So I hope to see you on Monday, and I hope you come back tomorrow. And I hope you had a really great time. So thanks for coming. See you later.